guys, so we're going to be putting our diorama together. First week is sealing, painting, and assembly, and then dealing with our window. I always try to do the trim pieces after, but I try to do the majority of the painting and the sealing when this is flat. Now to assemble, you're going to need a few things. I use the Gorilla Wood Glue Ultimate. I find this works really well with the MDF, and it still creates a good bond without being too strong and causing any weakness or cracks. But it's also flexible, and it should be paintable according to the instructions, and it's waterproof. So we have that. And I am using a Minwax sanding sealer. Unfortunately, I have not found this in a smaller container, so it's a lot. And for this, for ease and to make sure I get a good clean coat, I actually use these little touch-up and sample paint rollers with the little smooth sponge. I've got a couple of gloves to keep my hands clean and out of the nasty chemicals. I have some low-tack painter's tape, which will allow me to hold it together, since you can see that they're keyed, so they should stick together kind of like your typical Danish building block sets. And I have my apron just to keep myself and my clothes clean. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go grab my mat that I usually do my painting on. This is my nice pretty one. Well, pretty-ish one. And I will run the rollers and seal one side of each piece, allow them to dry based on the time shown on the can. If it is a cool day or if it is a humid day, sometimes it takes a little longer. I don't want to fully saturate these boards because that could lead to warping. I just want to make sure I get a nice even coat on the surface so that my paint doesn't absorb and I use less paint. Okay. I wanted to kind of show you guys what the sanding sealer looks like in the can. It's kind of a milky, bluish, yellowish, very liquid consistency, as you can see here, because it's meant to get into the pores of the fibers. And when I'm done doing my main three pieces, I said in my nursery diorama I wanted to do some siding, so I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. Since these are basswood, they have a tendency to want to soak up the paint, so I'm going to go ahead and do those as well. Okay, so everything sealed last night and it's dry, and off camera I did go and cut the pieces for my outside wall, and because I want to do the siding, I figured it'd probably be better just to go ahead and glue that down, apply some weights, let that dry, and then come back and paint with my exterior house color. So what I did was, kind of show you here, I traced my wall onto the piece of paper, and I used tracing paper, and that gave me a template. And my basswood siding is very thin, so I was able to just cut that with a hobby knife, score it and snap it, sanded it, cut out my opening, so I have my siding. Now on a real house, on the corners you usually have some kind of trim molding, so went down and grabbed these little square dowels, and these are 12-inch dowels, so I just need to cut an inch off, and those are going to go on my front edge and my back corner, just to kind of clean that up, because I'm going to put some glazing in the windows, and usually the trim is on the outside, so I took my trim and that's just going to go on top like that. And then I have these little pre-made shutters. They're not functional shutters. They're just like your typical house shutters. They just kind of hang on the outside. So, and those are the same height as my window. So I'm just going to kind of pop those on either side just for a little decoration. So that'll get glued, and I'll apply a little pressure. I like to use my tape as clamps. It doesn't leave any residue, and with the basswood sometimes it's kind of soft, so if I tried to use like a metal or a hard plastic clamp, it could leave some marks on the soft basswood. So that's what I have for that wall. And then for my other wall, I decided I wanted to do a mural or a picture taken from my fabric. So we'll have a tree, might have some animals. What I may do is actually photograph or scan the fabric and then use the tablet so I can make them a little larger in scale. So it won't be my art, but it'll be inspired by kind of sized out. And because I want to do a mural, I found some of my chalk paints or acrylic paints in this, it's called Morning Mist, and I think that'll be a good color to use behind the mural. So the outside of my diorama will have the outside of the house with the nursery window, and then the other side, which won't get seen as much, will be our little mural, and that can also kind of work as like a photo backdrop. So that's just that one layer that will dry. And then for my base, I think I'm gonna use the oak. I thought about doing the cream, but I think because my fabric for my rug is a oatmealish color but with more brown, almost the same color as this, when I do the popsicle stick floor, the edges will kind of blend into that. So I just need to paint just kind of the edges of this piece. I don't have to paint the middle because that's going to get covered with our popsicle sticks. And I might wait on painting this one. I think I might glue the room together and then paint the floor. I'll have to do some masking with my tape, so it'll be a little bit more complicated, but I think I'll do that because it may be easier to mark out my floor, which I need to go inside this line and this line and do my popsicle floor and glue that down and apply weight and then paint it and then glue everything together and do some more painting. So for now, first thing is to glue. I'm gonna work on my exterior wall, and then I think I'll work on my floor. So the floor, well, I've got some of my siding drying, and I glued down one of my outside trim pieces. I want to wait to glue down the other trim piece until I've got this together. And the window trim, I need to make sure that I get that in the right spot, because that's going to hold our window in. And then I'll glue these down, and maybe some tiny finishing nails just to hold those in place. But I'm going to let my siding dry first. For my floor, I decided, since I have a gabillion of these are the little wooden coffee stirrers, and they're very inexpensive. It'll give me a very narrow plank floor, which I think will work for the painted finish, because most of that will be covered with a carpet. But this is tedious. Generally, I do a few courses, tape them down, let them dry thoroughly, pull the tape up, move to the next course, and so on. So I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get started on this, and I will show you guys the last course taping it down. I have this handy dandy tool, my little snipper. These coffee stirrers come with a square end, but some of the coffee stirrers are not straight. So usually what I do is I cut off those parts, and then I just want a random lay. I don't want any particular pattern on the floor. So that's what's next. Well, I got one coat on. Obviously it's going to need a second, and this is an acrylic paint, so it does have a little bit of sheen. So after the second coat, I think I will lightly sand to kind of take down some of that color. So I have that to do. I got one run of my coffee stirrer floor, and I'm going to go ahead and do a second run. And I got my siding is glued down. It's pretty dry. This stuff doesn't take a long time, so I don't suspect it will move. I'm not gonna get this one put on. I think I'll wait until I'm ready to attach it. Then I'll do some touch-up paint. So, and clapboard siding houses usually have a skirting board, so that's why that is the way that is. So, time to take some tape off. Just talking about those home improvement samples, and this one's called Southern Breeze, but it's kind of a, I want to say like a sandy color. Oh yeah, I definitely need to stir this up. So, never trust the colors on the stickers. They never match. Don't even trust what it looks like when you open the bottle. So I've done some swatch tests, tried to mix up the paints as much as possible. Chalk paint has a very heavy base that will sink. So I'm gonna let these dry before I decide what color my trim on my house will be. I know what color this is because this has already been swatched. So I know that it's probably going to need a second coat once that dries. But I wanted to show you the difference. This goes on lighter. It looks more like the label. But once it dries, it is a darker blue. Just a deeper shade. So that's what I did there. I'm going to go ahead and work on my floor for the rest of the evening while my swatches dry so I don't make a mistake. And yeah, so that'll be the end of that. I need to empty out my glue. I actually save these since it's just Corey and I. We don't usually eat an entire can of any canned vegetable, you know, that we use. So I save the little containers from the vegetables, the black olives, all of those kind of things, because they make good resin mixing pots, because I can let things dry. A lot of times with the acrylic paints, I can just peel it out and reuse it. So, but with the glue, this Gorilla Glue stuff, yeah, once it dries, it's kind of there forever. So, glue floors until Corey gets home. Good morning, or afternoon or evening, whenever you're watching this. Okay, so yesterday I got my siding painted. We're looking good. I've also got my piece of trim that will go once it's glued together. And I got my other outside wall painted. See, there's the grooves with its base color. And yesterday I went and scanned my fabric and converted it to black and white, blew it up, and I have my mural. So I think I'm going to set this wall aside for a little bit. I think I want to do the mural on a separate day. I'm going to find my graphite paper so I can trace the outlines. It would then be a matter of using my decorative paint techniques to block out the colors for the bits and pieces, apply some shading, and then using my new acrylic paint markers to apply the details to that. So that's what we've got going on there. Okay. And then I got a third of my floor done, and I'm going to pull this up so hopefully the camera will focus on it. As you can see, there are some gaps. When I'm done doing this, I will sand it smooth, apply some sawdust and glue filler, sand it again, and then it'll be ready for its paint finish. So I'm going to change out the battery in this, and we are going to take our swatches and pick the color for our outside trim. I'm going to put my floor away for a brief moment, and I need to decide on my trim. And Corey had me make a small change to how I want to do this. I'm going to apply my window trim after I paint it. And then my window shutters will go here. And I think I'm going to put a window box so I can put in some flowers. And then maybe some vines along one of the edges. Paint some grass down here on the skirting board. So, trying to figure out if I'm going to have some greenery and a window box. I think I'm going to do the window box in the green. That's a traditional color for window boxes. So I think I'm going to use the blue for the trim. It's a little darker. So I think it's in the same color family. If you can see, I'll bring this closer. It's in that same teal, green, blue, turquoise color family, but just a little darker. So I think that will work. I don't think it'll be too masculine to do that color because I think it'll be a good contrast against warm colored flowers, the green box, some grass, and a vine, and then whatever flowers I do can be in my oranges. So it'll kind of be like our store colors are orange and teal. It's just one of my favorite color combinations, and so is it his as well. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab my smaller brushes and my paint, and I will paint these pieces. So, and once these pieces are done, then I will let them dry and they'll be ready to glue and attach to the outside wall. Finish my floor so I can let that dry so I can sand it. And that will probably be all I get accomplished today. I have some other things to work on for the store, so I'm not trying to rush this project. I want to enjoy it. Guys, hello. It is very dark outside this morning, but I want to try to finish. It's Saturday, but I kind of want to try to finish this week's goals, which was to get the floor done, the outside wall, and get prepped for doing the mural work next week. So I did finish gluing down all the coffee stirrers, and even though I trimmed them, you can see they're still kind of rough and sticking out. So I'm going to go to the garage and smooth that out with my Dremel so it's nice and clean. And then, despite my best efforts with a heavy weight and a board, some of these you can feel it's very rough. You can probably hear it on the camera. So I am going to take my, and some of the glue sometimes seeps up. So what I'm going to do is I take my palm sander and just kind of go over this until it's smooth. They're not very thick, so it won't be a whole lot of sanding, but just kind of smooth this down, get rid of some of the glue that's come up and on the surface of my coffee stirrers. And then it'll be time to do some gel stain. I picked an oak instead of paint. I figured that would kind of tie into the woodland thing. And then it'll be time for a satin varnish to seal it. Hey, sanded down the front edge, went ahead and sanded down this edge, and sanded the top. It's much smoother now, you can hear. So I'm going to put gloves on, grab a sponge and some towels, and stain. Okay, now I use a sponge applicator with the gel stain, and I try to go with the grain. It'll go down into the crevices and help create more of a texture. It's been a busy week. End of week, well, video 2, week 1. I have my floor done. It's been sealed and varnished, so it's ready to go. And I think it came out really nice. I like the warm color. I like the variation of color. I have my outside wall done and my outside trim piece. So that's done. And then for week 2, video 3, I'll be working on the mural. And once the mural is done, that will be the floor and the outside base. And then I can glue it together and start working on the trim moldings for the week after. So I'm going to go ahead and call this week done. And I'll get this video edited for you. And again, like, subscribe, click the notification bell so that you can keep track, because I know sometimes it doesn't always let you guys know if there's a new video. This will all be in the playlist for the Diorama Nursery. So, yay, we're trucking along. See you guys next time. Bye.